Colorado's ballot drop boxes are watched by video day and night. Tonight, we show you how your ballot is secure from there until the moment it's counted.
I can tell you it is secure beyond my wildest imaginations.
The governor says all of Colorado's leaked voting machine passwords have been changed as a new lawsuit demands a hand count. And I'll have a word about the threat posed to voter confidence by the Secretary of State's errors. Denver considers allowing needle exchange programs closer to schools. And we'll end the week as we always do, with a reason to be encouraged about the world around us.
Good news to me is like when someone is helping another person that can't really do it all by themselves.
That's tonight on Next.
Vote. It is the first and the last thing that I'll say to you tonight, but don't mail that ballot. It's too late. You got to drop it off now. Colorado's ballot drop boxes are video monitored 24 hours a day. There's even more eyes on them when they're opened. Let's bring in politics guy Marshall Zellinger to show us the security protocol for our ballot from the moment that it leaves our hands.
Yeah, more eyes on it now because we've got a camera trained on this ballot box in Adams County to go with the camera trained on the ballot box in Adams County to go with the election workers whose eyes are on the ballot box when they open it to get the ballots.
You know what it looks like to drop a ballot envelope into a ballot drop box. We show video like this every election. But what happens to the ballot after you've dropped it off?
We're tearing the seals off the doors. That way when we go to another box, we can see immediately if it's been tampered with.
That's Stan, an Adams County election worker.
I'm in the Republican Party. I'm wearing a red lanyard.
I am a Democrat, and like everything else, it's bipartisan.
Jerry is wearing the blue lanyard. And then there's Mark.
Well, I've never been worried about the integrity simply because of the people that I'm working with.
He's also a Republican. The three of them today are responsible for emptying the ballot box outside of the Adams County Government Center in Brighton.
We are totally bipartisan in the building on everything we do. Every time a ballot is moved or a card is moved.
Stan collects the ballots and fills the bag that will be locked with a secure serial numbered tag.
You have a seal number, the date, the time we're here at the box.
Everything is recorded in a log and on camera. The ballot boxes are under surveillance 24 hours a day.
Once the ballots are here, they get locked. That lock is not taken off until it's returned to this building.
This ballot box is one of the busiest in Adams County and continues to get filled with new drop-offs while the ballots already inside are collected.
We enjoy doing this because it's patriotic. We enjoy doing it because we need socialization with people. We need productivity in our lives.
When the ballots are all collected, the bag is locked and the box is resealed to indicate any future tampering. Once the ballot bag makes it inside the elections office, the seal is removed and the ballots are taken out, still with bipartisan eyes watching.
I can tell you it is secure beyond my wildest imaginations.
Let me tell you, Kyle, from what I learned from Stan, Jerry, and Mark, for people who have concerns or conspiracy theories about a mail-in ballot drop box and the ballot itself, what happens inside, you're really insulting the election workers who have taken the time out of their lives to be the watchful eyes to make sure it gets from that box inside the elections office to be counted. Kyle.
I know, this might be a bad time of year to do it, but they're always willing to answer people's questions or to have folks come in and see it. I remember the story you did a couple years ago where one of Colorado's most prominent election deniers was invited in by a Republican clerk, like, come see the process. And if I recall, the election denier was like, nah, I'm not interested in seeing it.
That was Fremont County. We can name names. That was Ron Hanks, who was running for office, and Fremont County's Republican clerk, Grantham, wanted him to come see it. And as far as we know, that never happened.
All right, Marshall Zellinger in Adams County for us. Thank you, Marshall. So Colorado has now changed all of its leaked passwords for the state's voting machines. Only took 6 days from when the breach was discovered. But in fairness, Democratic Secretary of State Jena Griswold waited 5 days to start changing the leaked passwords. Waited until the public found out. Democratic Governor Jared Polis got involved, offered additional staff, even the state's planes, to get those IT teams to all 31 impacted counties. Griswold did not tell the county election clerks or the governor until that breach was revealed. It was 5 days after she learned about it. The passwords are one of 2 passwords needed to make changes to the voting systems. These changes also require in-person access, so you have to get through the physical security. The state governor says that there is no evidence that any bad actors got inside the system. Governor says the process of changing the passwords was completed last night under the supervision of bipartisan elections workers. The Secretary of State's office has ignored Donald Trump's campaign's demands that they pause ballot processing and then rescan the ballots once the passwords were reset. The governor told us yesterday that campaigns can pay for a recount if they want one. Today, the Libertarian Party of Colorado filed a lawsuit against Griswold. They're asking a district court judge in Denver to order all the ballots to be hand counted, and they want all the impacted machines decommissioned. They're requesting a hearing on that Monday. Jenna Griswold's errors are a gift to election deniers. Colorado's Democratic Secretary of State has made a national name for herself as a defender of election integrity. Meanwhile, back home in Colorado, her office's repeated mistakes provide conspiracy theorists with fresh material. They also cause well-meaning voters with honest questions to doubt the accuracy and safety of our elections. Griswold's office sent tens of thousands of voter registration mailers to non-citizens who can't vote. Griswold's office inaccurately notified Coloradans that they had not voted, when in fact they had voted. And now her office has leaked the passwords for Colorado's voting machines. There is no evidence that anyone used those passwords to get through one step of the multi-step security that requires physical access to those machines. But also, make no mistake, the breach does real damage to confidence in elections. Griswold's decision to not tell county election clerks or the governor about the leaked passwords and not to change the leaked passwords until that breach became public, that does not inspire confidence, to say the least. Some of Griswold's defenders suggest that criticizing the secretary casts doubt on election integrity. No. Colorado's well-run and safe elections administered by county clerks of both parties should not be used as a shield to protect a politician from scrutiny. Secretary Griswold is right about one thing. Colorado's election system is strong and secure. It needs to be to survive her office's errors. Denver City Council may allow more needle exchange programs and allow them to set up closer to school buildings. Tonight, our Kelly Rinke looks at potential changes to an ordinance that dates back to 1997.
People struggling with addiction have come to these doors more than 20,000 times this year, looking for help. Saving lives from a drug overdose is becoming more challenging, though, because of a rule from 1997.
This is archaic, and we need to get rid of that ordinance. We're currently in our 4th location. We are needing to move due to gentrification on Lincoln Avenue.
Lisa Rayville is the executive director of the Harm Reduction Action Center. She runs a needle exchange program here, where people who use drugs can trade dirty syringes for clean ones. Rayville needs to move from this corner in Denver. The lease is up next year, and they can't afford to buy the building. Where she can go next is limited by a rule Denver enacted almost 30 years ago.
Right now, we have to be, the syringe access programs have to be more than 1,000 feet from a school, more than 1,000 feet from a licensed child care center, tip of the property line as the crow flies.
Rayville wants the 1997 ordinance to change. Some city council members support that too.
It is out of step with public health practices and evidence, and it's throwing up barriers for programs that we really need and care about.
Council members Sarah Parody and Serena Gonzalez Gutierrez are asking to remove the 1,000-foot restriction from schools and get rid of the city's 3-program cap, allowing more to operate in Denver.
When you talk about affordability, it does concern me, because then what I hear is that these are going to go into low-income neighborhoods.
Questions and conversations about the proposal will continue for the next few weeks before any vote, all while this program waits to see where their next move can be.
I need to be where my folks are, and also there are a lot of childcare centers and schools in a very urban area, and 1,000 feet from property line to property line as the crow flies is not evidence-based.
So all 3 of the current needle exchange programs are already operating within 1,000 feet of schools or daycare centers. They can do so under exceptions. The councilwomen who are proposing this change said DPS told them the schools near these sites have cited no issues. Kyle.
Briefly, if they lift this 3-program cap?
They don't know. They don't know how far we will go.
All right, in terms of numbers of programs. All right, Kelly Rinke, thank you. Ma Kang was a leader in Denver and Aurora's refugee and immigrant community. the neighborhood where she was killed by a stray bullet more than 2 years ago. Ma Kang's example and her inspiration is now helping others in her community succeed. This week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign will fund the 3rd annual Ma Kang Memorial Scholarships. These scholarships go to refugees and immigrants in Colorado to pay for education costs as they work toward a career in our community. Sometimes they're turning expertise learned in their home country into a credential so they can continue their career here. Sometimes they're breaking ground for their family by going to college. I've had the opportunity to meet some of the previous year's scholarship recipients. You've helped out the previous years as well. I'm telling you, these are Coloradans that we all should be rooting for because they've come here to build a better life, and they want to build a better Colorado by lending their talents and determination to our community in fields like medicine, computer science, accounting, social work, the list goes on. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491. We'll send you that link to donate. Almost 3,500 of you have used that link to sign up to simplify your giving with a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. You put in your info once, we split it up amongst all the nonprofits. It's allowed us to start your recent microgiving campaigns with almost $24,000 in donations each week. Well, it sure seemed like fall was never going to turn cold on us. Now that we've gotten a taste, Denver prepares its extended shelter network for a sub-freezing forecast.
I'm not at work, so that's good news. That's a celebration. Mic drop.
The headlines of our neighbors' lives bring us home every Friday, often have nothing to do with the news. You're going to like what they're up to today. That's next. We are getting some feedback tonight about an especially graphic ad that played on our air this morning. NBC aired a rare content disclaimer before a political ad during a break on the Today Show this morning. Several viewers told us they were still surprised to see graphic images of aborted fetuses and wondered why TV stations would ever air that ad. The short answer is the stations are required to by law. Third-party presidential candidate and anti-abortion activist Randall Terry is behind those ads with photos of aborted fetuses. We're not going to show the ad here. The ads have aired on major networks and before high-visibility TV events like the World Series. Federal law prohibits broadcast networks from censoring or rejecting ads from qualified candidates, and the Federal Communications Commission does not pre-approve ads or fact-check ads. The most that we can do as stations is to either air a content warning before the ad or fact-check the ad afterward during our programming. You know that we're doing truth tests constantly here on Next. There will be no more election ads of any kind as of Tuesday night, Election Day. I invite you to join me and the team for 7.5 hours of continuous election night coverage. I like to say it like that because I sound like Scott Hansen on Red Zone. 7.5 hours of continuous election coverage starts now. Actually, starts 3 p.m. Tuesday on 9 News and streaming on 9 News Plus. If you're looking for Next, we will be on for an hour at 6 p.m. on KTVD and streaming on 9 News Plus. Well, hope you enjoyed a brief taste of fall, because next week it's going to be cold enough for Denver to reopen its 24/7 cold weather shelters. And this year, Denver's going to repurpose what were migrant shelters that are now empty. Emergency shelters will be open from Monday afternoon through Thursday morning. There are 3 options beyond traditional homeless shelters. There's former Best Western on Quebec, 4 migrant shelters on 7th Avenue and on Zuni. The city lowered its threshold for opening emergency shelters earlier this year. They will now open whenever the temperature calls for the forecast calls for temperatures below 25 degrees, and those shelters will now be open all day instead of just overnight. Meteorologist Lauren Robinson, you told us the cold was coming. We knew it was coming. It was still a shock to the system. And now we're kind of back into that comfy zone again, but It's coming once more.
Yeah, that's right. We're kind of doing this roller coaster ride over the next few days as temperatures go up and down. We're dry, then we're rainy, then we're snowy. We have it all in this nice Colorado forecast. A live look over downtown Denver. A little bit of cloud cover has filled in. Still mild temperatures, 53 degrees right now. Winds coming in from the southeast at around 13 miles per hour. This afternoon, we saw highs in the low 60s. But as we take a look at our live radar, this system off to the Pacific Northwest will eventually make its way here into Colorado late Sunday and into Monday. So we're going to watch for a rain-snow mix there. In the meantime, overnight tonight, lows in the 20s and 30s across most of the state with some teens up in the mountains. We're going to see lows near freezing tonight, but we quickly rebound tomorrow afternoon. Sunny skies and temperatures soaring all the way into the middle 60s. I think we see a high of 65 degrees at DIA. We could even see some 70s to the southeast, 40s and 50s up in the high country. So the next few days, we're going to see a lot of everything. We're going to be sunny and warm on our Saturday, temperatures in the middle 60s. Saturday night before you go to bed, don't forget to give yourself that extra hour of sleep as daylight saving time ends. Sunday night and into Monday, we're going to watch for winds to pick up. Rain showers late Sunday, turning into some snowfall early Monday. So we have a potential impact day there. Then by Wednesday, we're looking for another round of scattered snow showers. We're going to be dry and a little mild to chilly on Tuesday as you go out and vote.
My family and friends, they're definitely the good news in my life because they always make me like super happy.
Day spent helping your neighbor is always a day well spent. And this one was. Next. We ran across some students from Denver Christian out doing yard work for neighbors in Lakewood today. They were more than happy to take a moment to answer our favorite Friday question around here. What's your good news?
Good news to me is like when someone is helping another person that can't really do it all by themselves. And when you're doing something for like someone else and not just for yourself.
It makes your heart very full. Just seeing them excited, they're with their friends.
It's really fun to work with like your classmates and friends to like just put leaves in a trash can and help people.
That's what comes to mind when I think of good news. I think that's what gospel means, good news.
Well, you might have some good news or bad news in about 5 hours.
Why is that?
Because my National Honor Choir results come out then. Hopefully I got in. If I did, I'm going to go sing in Dallas with talented people.
Can you tell me what it's like to be buried in this pile of leaves?
It's hot.
I'm a competitive dancer, and that's my good news. It's a lot of fun.
Yay! It's Friday, the sun is out, it's November 1st. I'm not at work, so that's good news.
My family and friends, they're definitely the good news in my life because they always make me like super happy. And whenever I like am really sad, they're always there being able to help me. Mic drop.
I like helping others because that's what God calls us to do. Just help any people in any way we can.
Beautiful day to be out doing the leaves. We are back with your feedback. Thank you. And something I've been wanting to show you. Next. It's time to make our annual election season promise. If you have a lingering question that is keeping you from casting a ballot, we will answer it if you promise to vote. Email your election questions to next@9news.com or text them to us, 303-871-1491. We will answer your question if you promise that you will go and vote. Got a note today from Fauna, what a beautiful name, saying, please inform the public that in-person voting has started. She says, I'm an election judge. Having the in-person voters come early will be a tremendous help so that we are not overwhelmed on Tuesday. Fauna says Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday are those voting days. Fauna makes a really good point that you got to make a plan, right? You can't let yourself forget. You can't get too busy because Tuesday will be here before you know it. So whatever it takes that you remember to vote, you could write yourself a note. Write yourself a note someplace where you're sure to see it. But whatever you do, vote. We'll see you next time.